Hey everybody, I'm Benjamin, aka the Terrible Australian of Supermastery.com, and welcome to my video review of the new Australian animated film, Blinky Bill the movie. So let's get right into it. Now, for all those out there, anyone from who's not Australian is watching this video, the Blinky Bill books are probably one of the more famous sort of kids books here in Australia. They were written by Dorothy Wall, and they've sort of been, they're definitely classic Australian books, and I think that a lot of Australians have read when they were kids. And I don't know if I remember reading the books when I was younger, but one thing I do remember is that the books were in the sort of early 90s were adapted into both a big screen film that was directed by legendary Australian animated director Yoram Gross in the early 90s, and that was followed up by a TV series as well. And that sort of both the film and the TV series did reasonably well, and particularly the TV series, which is sort of one of the more classic Australian animated shows of the past over 20 odd years. So that was where I was more familiar with Blinky Bill when I was growing up, because of both the film and the animated series. So when I heard they were sort of bringing Blinky Bill back to the big screen in a sort of CGI animated film, I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot. And also, they've assembled a pretty solid cast of who's who of Australian actors in there as well. And I thought, okay, this definitely has me very interested to check it out. So, and I'm also, of course, very familiar with the Blinky Bill as a character, just mostly from the original animated film and series. So I don't know how he sort of compares to, say, his original book counterpart, so I can't say for certain. But overall, but now having seen this new animated film, what did I think of it? I have to say, I thought it was average. Like, it's not a bad film. Like, it is a watchable film, and it's one that kids will definitely enjoy watching, because when I was at the screening I was at, there was quite a few kids there, and they seemed to be really into it. But I think overall, as a film, I just didn't think much of it. It's not bad, like I say. It's watchable. It's just average. And I think the main reason for that, and like when you watch the film, you can tell that the animation for this film is not 100% top quality animation. But in that regard, I can forgive that, because this wasn't like, a huge, big budget Hollywood animated film, like, with the ones that like DreamWorks or Pixar or Blue Sky, those ones that cost like $100 million to make. This one definitely was a much sort of smaller scale Australian animated film. I'm not exactly sure what the budget was, but but I know that it was sort of like a co-production of a few other countries as well, or at least in the animation department when it came to the animation of this film. So in a way, I can forgive the film not having 100% top quality animation, and in some ways it's still watchable, but it feels more like animation more suited for a TV show rather than, a big screen one. And also, like, the plot it's okay, but there's nothing particularly special about it. But I do give credit one thing, though, is that the voice cast, which includes a mixture of well-known Australian actors like Kwanten and Robert McLevy, Toni, Collette, David Wenham, Deborah Mailman, Barry Humphries, Richard Roxburgh, Barry Otto, and as well as they were able to rope in British actor Rufus Sewell to, surprise, surprise, play the villain of the piece. They all do really good with their vocal performances, and you can tell that everyone's having a good time playing with these characters as well. So in that regard, that's where kind of most of the fun comes from, is from the vocal performances. But there are some pretty sort of fun little sequences here and there as well, which I did enjoy. But I think overall, in terms of sort of story and plot, it just wasn't anything particularly special, and something that we kind of seen many times before in other animated films. And also, and one of the things I found really kind of bizarre about the film is kind of the weird kind of humor that it has as well. Like, there was sort of a mixture of sort of this really bizarre type of humor, and also some sort of racy kind of adult-esque humor is in there as well. And like, a lot of that sort of stuff would just go over the heads for a lot of the kids who are watching the film. But for grown-ups like myself, I sort of noticed that. I'm thinking, okay, that's a very odd adult joke to put into this film. I can't say specifically what those kind of jokes are because, that'd be in spoiler territory. But if you ever see this film, you'll know exactly what I mean when you watch it. Like, it just felt so out of place and just a bit kind of... I guess they were trying to sort of, make it fun for both, besides not just for kids, but also for adults as well. Kind of doing that sort of, I guess Shrek type of stuff. We're having jokes not just for kids, but also adults as well. But I don't think it particularly works in this film. But luckily, the film sort of starts to die down that a lot as the film goes on. So, and sort of makes up for it in other ways with some pretty cool sort of set pieces and all that. So overall, it's Blinky Bill the movie. It's a watchable film. Kids will definitely enjoy it. Adults, I would say, will probably be half and half. First, for me personally, I thought it was just an average film overall. Watchable, but average film. So if I had to give this film a rating, I'd give it about 2.5 stars. Like I said, it is watchable, but nothing worth writing home about. So, yep, that's the end of my video review of Blinky Bill the movie. I hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later. See you, everyone. Bye.